Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I have a dream I want to share with you guys. I really didn't want to, I know, I really didn't want to post this dream because it's not really a dream that I like to post about. I don't really like to talk about this topic, even if it's real and we all really need to talk about this topic, especially us being Christians and everything. And with the time we're in right now, this topic must be important that the Lord would share it to me around the time that we're living right now. So I'm sorry. I don't want to offend nobody. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but God comes first, and people need to understand this was a dream given to me by the Lord, and you gonna have to take this up with the Lord. That's it. So in this dream, this is how the dream started off. I'm just going to tell you exactly the dream and go from there. So the dream started off where I saw that I was in a church. I was in a big church. It was like a big church. A couple of hundred people in that church. It could have been at least 1,000 people in that church. It was a big church. And I saw when I walked in and I sat down, I didn't even look at my surrounding, but as I was walking towards the seat, like close to the front of the seat, I noticed, and I had my children with me, I noticed that I had noticed all these people. And this is what I noticed. I noticed that a lot of people were holding hands and cuddling in church. Like they were just okay, I'm just going to tell the dream and just be done with it, okay? I don't feel comfortable talking about this dream, but I'm just going to tell it like it is, okay? So in the dream, people were holding hands, hugging each other, and kissing in the church. And by people, I mean same-sex couples. Same-sex couples, period. They were same-sex couples, two guys or two women. They were kissing, they were holding hands and hugging on each other. And then when I sat down, I was like, what is this? I, I'm like, what is this? What kind of church is this? And then the pastor, I guess the main pastor of the church was leaving, and she was the person that was gonna take over was one of her son-in-law or something. I'm not sure, but that's what she said. So the son-in-law stepped in, and he was also gay. He had a husband, and this is what he was preaching. He said, I was ready to leave, man. I was like, why am I here? Why am I in this church? I guess the Lord has something to show me. So the guy, the pastor who had a husband, he came up and he was like, look, I have to say this. So he started talking negative about what was going on in the church. He was like, this is messed up that we're like this. This is messed up that what we're doing. I should not be married to a man. I should be married to a woman. What I'm doing is an abomination. And I can't sit here in a church before God and preach to you guys that what we're doing here is okay. This is not okay. It's not okay in the eyes of God, and it's not okay with me right now. I need to let this sinful nature go and find a wife and have a family with a wife, not a man. I'm sorry, but I can't live like this anymore. And you all need to turn away from this, repent, and come to God faithfully. This is a sinful life that we're living, and we all need to give it up and come to the Lord with a repentant heart. That's what he was saying. Bro, I'm just telling you what he was saying. That's it, okay? And after that, I was like, "Oh, that's good. I'm glad he's ready to let this go." I was like, "Oh, this is a good thing he's saying right here. I hope they all heed these warnings." And they were all hugging on each other, holding on tight to each other. They were all shocked, like they were not expecting that. And then they looked back at his at the guy's husband, because he was married, and his husband was sitting in the front, and everybody just turned around and looked at him, and they were like, we feel so bad for you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's doing that to you right here in church in front of everybody. They were just so upset. And then I was leaving. I was like telling my kids, "Let's go. We got to get out of here. Why are we in this church?" And then and then um while I was looking for my other daughter, I noticed that some girl went up to my daughter and she was harassing my daughter, and she was just trying to harass her, and my daughter was so afraid. And then I went up to the lady and I was like, "Get away from my daughter." It was a young girl about her age, and I was like, "Get away from my daughter. What are you doing? What are you trying to do towards my daughter?" And she was like, "What do you?" She was upset that I was talking to her like that, so she just walked away, all bickering and all upset and everything. And then the mom of the girl came up to me and she was like, um I can't. I'm sorry. The mother came up to me and she apologized and she was like, "I'm sorry. I can't control her these days. She's just the way that she is." And I was like, "Well, I don't know what she was trying to do or anything like that, but my kids are, they're good, decent kids, and by the grace of God, I'm thankful that they're all still virgins." She was like, "Your daughters are virgins?" I was like, "Yeah, all of them. They're all virgins." And he was like, and she was like, I'm sorry, she was like, "How did you manage to keep your children virgins at that age?" I was like, "Well, God, by the grace of God, that's all I can go with." But I don't know how long they will stay like this, but for now, I'm just grateful that they're like this, and I pray that God will keep them like this for as long as possible. And then the lady was like, "Well, so what did you think about what the pastor was saying?" And I was like, "I think he's in the right track. I think that's the best thing for everyone here to do." And I was asking her, "Are you gay? Oh my goodness, you look normal." She was like, "No, I'm just here to support my daughter. I'm just here to support my friends and my family." So your family's gay and you're supporting their actions. We as Christians should not be doing that. And I was just talking to her and she was like, I know, but I love them. I don't want to push them away. I'm like, sometimes you have to give your loved ones tough love. You have to stand your ground. You have to let them know this is what God says. God comes first before our loved ones, before our family, before our friends. Because when we go to judgment, it's only God that's going to judge us one by one. Your family will not be there to save you or rescue you. So I was just telling her all of this stuff. She was like, "You right, you right." And then I left. I left the building, and then I went outside looking for my kids. I don't know what happened to my kids. All of a sudden, they were all gone, and I don't know. From there, I'm sorry, you guys. The dream switch where my children had, it was weird. Okay, I'm gonna add this in the dream only because it actually came true a week later. And by the way, I had this dream like 2 weeks ago. So this little piece of the dream I'm gonna add. So I went outside looking for my daughter, and then I saw my daughter outside with these two young kids, two young boys or whatever, and it was like they were like fighting for her. They were fighting, like they were trying to get involved with my daughter. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And they were like, "Well, we wanna be with your daughter." I'm like, "Well, she's not available to any of you guys. You guys are straight." And it was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're straight. We're straight. We're not, we only like the opposite sex. So yeah, we're straight." And I was like, "Okay." So she had two boys fighting for her love. It was weird. I'm sorry. And then the next day, I told my daughter what I dreamed. I was like, "I dreamed that there were two boys fighting for you." It was so weird. So today, not today, but like three, two. This was on Sunday. This was Sunday that just passed. Today is Wednesday, so Sunday, my daughter was like, "Mommy, I got two guys on my Xbox," because she does live Xbox. She likes to play video games, so she has friends on Xbox. So she don't go to school, but she is, and she does play her little Xbox and stuff like that. She's like, "I have two of my friends that I play with. They're both fighting over me. I don't know what to do." I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" I'm sorry. She's 17 years old. She's never had a boyfriend or anything like that. She's a sweet little innocent little girl. by the grace of God, you guys. So she was just shocked and she tells me everything, mostly everything. She was telling me that and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the dream I had. I told you there were two boys fighting over you." And then she was like, "Oh my God, that was it." And that was the end of that. I'm done with that conversation. I didn't even want to talk about that dream anymore. But I had to confirm that because that actually happened in real life. So I was just sharing this dream with you guys because I feel like God is really speaking to the same sex couples, the ones that are marrying, the ones that are changing their sex, saying that God gave them the wrong body. They're not in the right body. So they're out there changing their sex. They're deceiving themselves and they're pushing this agenda upon many, and especially the Christians. They are persecuting the Christians because of their beliefs, and we choose not to accept them for the way they are and their agenda and all that yada yada stuff. This is very serious, you guys. I think they I mean, people that are gay, people that are living in that lifestyle, they really need to turn away from that lifestyle and truly give your life to God. I know it's hard, it's not easy. It's something you're going to have to talk to God about. You're going to have to pray to God, and it's a fleshly desire. I'm going to go with that, you guys, because when you are in your flesh, when you're not sick, it's a demon. It's a lustful demon that has perverted your sexual desire and it's making you want the same sex. I'm telling you because I once was in a sexual desire, not that kind. Yeah, I had women that try to get with me and stuff like that, but no, I've never I don't I'm not into women or anything like that. It's something I would never be interested in or anything like that. But I had a sexual, driven, sinful life in my past. Like I was devoted to my sexual desire. I was in the flesh. That was like my biggest sin. I was I couldn't let that one sin go. It was just so hard. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. It's a small little thing I want to confess to you guys about. I had I was addicted to sex. I was I had one of those things you call a very high sex drive, and I was addicted to it, and I mean really really bad. I know it's bad for people to wonder, oh, how could anyone be addicted? It's a disease. It's really a disease. Sexual addiction is a disease. It really is. And I had it. I was addicted and I couldn't stop. And I tried and I begged God for years to help me to overcome this demon. I thought I was over it, but it kept coming at me and I kept making the same mistake after mistake after mistake. For years, I was in this bondage. It was a bad bondage, you guys. But somehow God helped me to overcome it. And it was only by the grace of God I overcame it. And I no longer have those desires anymore. I no longer struggle in that department anymore. I just want you to know we can overcome our fleshly desires, our sexual immoralities. We have to fight. We have to love God more than we love our flesh. We're going to have to purge our flesh. When I was purging my flesh, it was the hardest thing I've ever did in my entire life, even worse than birth, okay? Worse than giving birth. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I didn't think I was going to be able to overcome that demon in my life. It was devouring me every day. It was like I was a guy. I thought about it day and night, all the time. It was bad. And I had multiple sexual partners because of it. I couldn't be with one person. I had to have more than one person at all time. It was bad, you guys. And it was horrible and I couldn't overcome it. I couldn't fight it, but somehow God helped me to overcome it. one day I went into a fast. I was so disgusted of myself. I was so I started hating myself. No, I'm being honest with you guys. I hated myself. I hated the person I became. I felt disgusted of myself. I was telling myself, how can I be a Christian? How can I even call myself a Christian, a person who loves God, but I can't give up a fleshly desire. I cannot walk away from this sin. I couldn't come to myself to let it go, even though I tried so hard. I was just so addicted to it. And the enemy would keep pushing these guys towards me, towards my way. Even when after I gave it all up, even after that, somehow the enemy found me to put desires in my face. It was not easy, you guys. I struggled from that for like years of my life, at least 5, 6 years. I struggled from that. But the Lord helped me to overcome it. It was a really hard struggle for me. But I am delivered by the grace of God, by the grace of God. And the Lord opened my eyes in a way where I didn't think it could be open. And now he's using me. I know I never say any testimonies on here. I probably should. It's probably going to help somebody. But this was a small bits of my testimony of my fleshly desire that I managed to conquer because of the Lord, because of God. I cried out to him. I went on a fast. I went on like a 2-week fast, and I was praying, I was worshiping. I just gave it I just gave it all in his hands. And that's when the Lord woke me up, gave me the rapture dream, and I started this ministry 6 months later and started doing these dreams, end time dreams, vision and everything. This is how I came to be on here, because I seek the Lord to help me through this horrible sexual desires that I was struggling with. And I was able to overcome it only through the blood of Jesus Christ, only through the strength of the Lord. If I can do it, you guys can do it too. Trust me. You have to love God more than you love yourself. You have to love God more than you love your flesh. We got to put God first. And it's time for us all to put God first above our own needs. I hope this message helps somebody. I hope it reaches somebody. God bless you guys. May the Lord be with you all. Shalom. Shalom.